What up, weebs, weeblets, and everyone who will never be as cool as Sakuta? Today, we are talking about Bunny Girl Senpai.
Hell yes.
We recently watched the double feature in theaters. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I mean, there was three too many people in it. Because there was five total people in the theater. I was hoping for just us so I could be like, two dudes, one theater.
I hate you. It was great. First and foremost, I want to say that the theater experience was great, but I'm going to give the theater we were in a 5 out of 10.
That seems fair.
That's all it takes is shitty seats, but like the seats sucked.
Well, the seats suck, but it's also our fault for getting those particular seats, assuming...
Well, but here's the thing, is there were 5 people in the theater. We moved back a little, but like we probably should have moved back a little more, but yeah. Sean is huge, so it's like... He's a tight fit everywhere.
Yeah, much like any fucking airline, I'm going to try and be in the exit row.
No, you got to buy 2 seats.
Not on Boeing planes anymore. They're falling apart.
No, I know. But, like, you would still need 2 seats. You'd just go down.
I just don't need to buy 2. Shit's empty.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. It was a great experience, though. We watched the dub. I kind of wish I would have watched the sub. I've watched most of the series sub. I don't love the dub. There's certain things about it that I liked, but for the most part, it's a dub that I think is just so vastly inferior to the sub. It wasn't bad, but...
No, it was by no means bad.
But the sub's just too good that I 10 out of 10 would not watch the dub again.
Personally, I am glad we got the dub, though, just for the sake of our eyes, considering, the positions of our necks the entire time.
We were so close to it that I would have to turn my head to read. But again, our fault. Empty theater. We could have moved. Wouldn't it be funny, though, empty theater, if, like, somebody came in with flashlight and be like, hey, those aren't your seats.
Just bullied us.
What a dick, dog. Okay, so moving on. We're going to talk about what we've been into, and it's a lot. I've been into a lot.
Yeah, you've had one of your moments where you're just like, I'm going to binge everything.
And I did. It's one of those things where, like, I will fall off and just not do anything, and then once I do pick up a manga or a series, I just finish it. I can't not finish it, and that's just my nature. So yeah, let's talk. I picked up Nagatoro, the manga. I loved it.
I did warn you, though, that it was going to be really rough at first.
Yeah, I would have dropped it if it weren't for Sean, but he told me, it gets better. But, like, the first 2 episodes, like, it's a series about younger girl bullying a nerdy guy. And it's, like, the first 2 chapters, it's not even, like, cute or fun. She just bullies him till he cries.
It's not even tsundere. It's just, like, straight up.
Just straight up savage. To the point that she makes him cry, and she... takes out a hanky and wipes his tears for him. And at first I thought she was like going to just collect the tears, but she ended up giving him the hanky. But I was just like, holy shit, this is just, for me, it was just, and Sean, it was just hard to read because, it's like there's nothing redeeming about it. It is just ripping this guy apart until he cries.
Yeah, that the author really had something to work through there.
Yeah, definitely. But as it goes on, definitely gets better. I really liked it. People like to call the main character Chad Pie. Like, his growth throughout the series is just great. He is constantly trying to improve, especially because, like, at first in the series, he just doesn't want to interact with anyone.
Absolutely not.
And, like, he just continually steps up, works on self-improvement, and I love it. And so does Nagatoro. They both kind of push each other to be better people, even if she's just, like, constantly rocking his shit. And
but as it goes on, it's more of in a loving way.
No, it is like as it goes on, in my opinion, it's kind of cute. The moral of the story is, like, if you just treat somebody like shit, they'll fall in love with you, which I don't love the moral, but, like, as a whole, I really like the series. It's not finished yet, but I love that I picked it up when I did, because where it got to, like, the current chapter that I got to at this point is where I want to be.
Yeah, because I know if you had picked it up just any sooner, you'd be miserable.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
And you'd be texting me nonstop.
And I'd be like, why am I current? But me being current now, I feel justified.
And now you can wait another, like, 2.5 years before you read it again.
Yeah, because that's me. Everything that I've been reading that I'm caught up on, I haven't touched in, like, months. Dawn to Dawn, I'm, like, 2 months behind, which, not because I don't want to read it. I'm just going to, like, when it's time to catch up, I'm going to catch up and I'm going to love it.
Yeah, he wants, like, 8-10 chapters to read at once.
No, I want 100 chapters to read at once.
Well, I know, but you can't wait.
Minimum.
But you can't wait that long because
there is one that I caught up on, and that's Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. Because I love it. It's real shit. I love the...
So you fell in love with The Exorcist?
I did. He's
Yes.
a great character. They do such a good job of showing the effects of abuse. And okay, first chapter spoiler, I think I've mentioned this before. He is the greatest exorcist ever. He can like call on actual angels. And so like the first episode he's fighting Asmodeus, the demon of lust. I think that's Asmodeus.
Fantastic.
And so like she sends like, again, he's abused. He's not allowed to do anything growing up. And so Asmodeus tries to like corrupt him and sends like the whole town of women naked after him. And it's like they quote the Bible a lot. Like I love the Bible in fiction. I really do. I think it's it's the original good versus evil. It's so great. And so since he's surrounded by women, like the quote is like he quotes it that if you lust for another woman, rip out your eye, and he does. Like that's like we just open with him being tough as fuck, and then he sends Asmodeus away. It's great. I love it. So yeah, Nagatoro great. Make the Exorcist Fall in Love great. We have so many things that we've been watching, so I'm gonna try to power through. I did read all of Modern Mogals. It's just a bunch of shorts about modern monster girls. It is pretty fan servicey, but it's just like a bunch of cute excerpts just about monster girls and like them being integrated into society. It's fun, fan servicey, but it was a nice...
Not in an off-putting way?
No, yeah. Maybe a little. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody.
Okay. If you're fine with what I like to call anime bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it's so hard to recommend things because everybody has a different cutoff point for anime bullshit.
Yeah.
This one might be yours, but I enjoyed it. It's 300 chapters, but they're like...
4 panels?
Yeah,
something like that?
It's like 1 to 4 pages each. Definitely good. I enjoyed it. I finally picked up Madoka Magica, the series, I watched the dub. Dub wasn't bad, but I really didn't like Madoka's voice. As a whole, I'd probably give the series like a 7. I didn't love the ending. It wasn't terrible, but it's just magical girls gone dark. Really, I really loved it. It is like at first I didn't like by episode 5 though, I was completely hooked. It's this slow build drama to the point that like at first it's a little uneasy, but like for me, once you got to episode 10, it was just suffocating and I loved it. I really did. I've also finished up on Uncle from Another World. Stupid cheesy. It's about an uncle who goes to another world. In the world, everyone is beautiful, so they just call him Orc. Like, when he first gets there, he just gets the absolute shit beat out of him. And so he's, like, super powered, but he has come back from the other world. And, like, most of it is him and his nephew and the girl that's into his nephew watching playbacks of his life. He's also just obsessed with Sega.
So he's got like playbacks of the other world.
Yeah, like one of his magic spells, he just pulls up a screen and they look back through it.
Oh, that's
he's
fantastic.
Completely clueless. It's kind of like harem-y that there's 3 girls jonesing for him, but he's so dense that he didn't realize it. And so we're at the current time now. So like it's a harem-ish where like he didn't get with anybody because he's just stupid. It's just a really like he's so dumb, and like the only reason he wanted to come back to the real world so bad is so he could play the Sega. What was the second Sega console? Saturn, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like all about the Sega Saturn. Real fun watch. I recommend that to just about everybody. There's a couple like fan services. The worst fan service in the whole series. My wife was upstairs for like hours. Like I watched 3 episodes. She comes downstairs, goes in the kitchen. I'm still watching it, and like the worst fan service in the whole series is when she walks in. It's like bad enough and like so.
Gratuitous?
It's a little bit like she's moaning and stuff because he's giving her massage. And so you got like the feet thing. If you're into feet things, go for it. I don't respect you, but that's you. I do
talk shit about you.
I do, but like embrace you. You're not hurting anybody. But yeah, that's when she walked in, and it was bad enough that I rewinded. And she's like, "Why would you do that?" I know how trash you are. I was like, "Well, thanks." So yeah, that one was great too. And then last of all, I want Sean to hit his, and I want to talk about Frieren together.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea because we've actually both caught up on Frieren.
Weird, right?
I know, right? It's fucking shocking. But I've been keeping up with a couple.
The Kardashians.
Oh my god, no! I'd read that manga.
Actually,
Let
him cook.
I hate this place. I caught up with MHA because Zach accidentally almost spoiled something for me.
Very big. Like, it got spoiled for me. I really need to get off Reddit because, like, I just click everything. I don't, like, read it. I don't read if it's not safe for work. I don't read because, like, a lot of the not safe for work stuff is, like, mild. I don't read if it's a spoiler. And I'm just, like, scrolling through. I clicked on something. I'm like, oh, fuck, why would I do this? I'm waiting for the series to end. I'm like, this is bad. This is a big spoiler.
Then you just, like, immediately text me about it.
Yeah, and then Sean said something. I'm like, oh my God, I just realized, did I spoil it for you? And thankfully I didn't.
No, because like, I mean, I had a feeling of like where things were going, but like, you know, at this point, shit's so real, I could buy anything happening. And I've also I got caught back up and or rather keeping current with JGK, which I am questioning why I am doing so now, because I feel like it's starting, if not hasn't already jumped the fucking shark. Like I'm tired of the Battle of Sukuna, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's just drug on.
Like and it's like I get the idea that it's going to be a group effort.
Yeah.
Like without any spoilers.
I mean, you can give the small spoiler where, okay, like Sean told me, like at this point they're introducing new characters for the fight. Nobody wants that. Who wants that?
Yeah, no, like if you told me it was going to be like Okatsu and Yuji and Maki, like teaming up to beat Sukuna down, get that. Makes perfect sense to me. But like, I don't need a brand new character that you're just introducing and I don't care about.
No, you want that validation that, you know, your team is fighting. When you introduce somebody new to fight him, like, where's my investment? Why do I want, I mean, like, you want Sukuna to lose, but why do I want this person involved? I don't.
Also, people are getting powers that I don't remember how they got them. Because, like, Yuji has reverse curse healing technique now, and I don't know why or how. Or, like, maybe I just forgot. It's entirely possible.
Not that I'm aware of, but, you know.
But that's, you know, so that's where I am with shit that's, like, you know, recently published popular shit. But I've also been reading the latest volume of I'm a Wolf, but My Boss is a Sheep.
That seems interesting. I kind of want to pick it up.
I mean, it's a fun little romantic comedy that looks like exists in a world where like animals have like evolved and now they're like humanoid, but they still have like characteristics like they might have ears or horns or tails, and they'll still have like their predatory and prey instincts type thing.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Hear me out. So you're just reading Zootopia 2.
Oh, this is better. This mops the floor with Zootopia.
Okay, but like it sounds a lot like Zootopia.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, when I explain it like that, yeah, it sounds like Zootopia, but main character is a wolf guy that I can't remember the name of right now, and it doesn't fucking matter. I just call him Wolf Boy in my head.
And to me.
And to you. Who falls in love with his sheep boss, and he tries to hide it because he works in a department full of fucking sheep and he's a wolf. So he doesn't want to come off creepy because he's aware that he's a wolf and he has a predator instincts and he has predator thoughts about her, but not like in a killing way, but like in a sexy way.
All right, I vibe with that.
So it's just really cute and fun, and there's love triangles and a hyena that bullies another sheep, and that's really fun, and I love that.
I love hyenas when they do stuff like this. I picked up Killing Bites. It was okay, but like the hyena in it is just. It's actually really weird, but the hyena in it is exactly like that. Just hyenas are trolls, and I love it.
Yeah, the hyena girl just bullies the sheep boy and then asks him out on a date, and it's fantastic.
Hell yeah!
I also also watched the first couple episodes of Ice Guy and his cool female colleague.
I've heard it's pretty good. You into it?
I will be into it. It's very laid back for me. It's another office rom-com. I don't know, maybe it's a thing that I'm just into lately. But it's very laid back, and it's going to take a certain specific vibe for me to be into. Like, I have to be in a certain mood to be able to watch
I do
that.
like office rom-coms because it's nice to get out of high school.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I don't mind high school sometimes. You know, it's just like that throwback. You know, sometimes it's relatable to like my high school life. You know, and then God knows how many movies. You know, in the U.S. it's about high school. Because yeah, I mean, like I didn't, but you know, if you peaked in high school, I mean, that's okay. And some people want to relive that time,
and that's perfectly fine. But like, I really like Ice Guy because he's an ice demon, and he falls for his like stoic female coworker.
Hell yeah.
And it's so cute when he gets excited because he'll start making little snowmans around him.
All right, yeah, that's
like
fine.
unintentionally, like they just pop out of his body. It's fantastic.
That's his butterflies.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
okay. Next up, we watched the first. He watched the second. I watched the first episode of the Spice and Wolf Me remake. I am completely in love with it. I think it's perfect.
Yeah,
My one complaint prior was her ears being a little smaller. The second I got into it, I didn't even care. The opening, especially having read the light novels, the opening is so good, and I don't know, I love it. It looks beautiful. It is beautiful. I mean, there was one thing they had added a different character instead of Yare. Yare is a great character. I love him. It's just like if I was crafting this, I would have just stayed there and just broed down with Yare.
Yeah, that's fair. I also really loved it. I love the opening. It feels like a Van Gogh painting in motion to me, which I dig.
I loved the ending, actually. I thought the ending, it's hard to top the apples hanging from the witch's tree, but I feel like they did. It was great. I'm going to listen to it every single time.
I love everything. The animation I wasn't sure about, but like having seen a couple full episodes, totally into. Because it's so new, there's not a dub for it yet. I'm not entirely sold on Holo's voice, but that's just because I'm used to the dub and her acting like a haughty noble.
Hotty.
Yes, that's entirely what I meant. This version it feels way more fan servicey though.
To me, it didn't. I feel like it kind of hit the same mark that the previous one did, but like
Maybe,
one way or the other, there's a little bit of fan service.
Maybe it's just after watching the second episode, but I do appreciate how Lloyd reacts in the second episode where he just like faces the wall and like scooches along against it.
It's not Lloyd.
It's
Kraft. Yeah, he calls Kraft Lloyd all the time, and I take offense to that because
I like my gray hair daddies.
Oh God, Kraft is 25. They made him look 40. Traveling as a merchant is hard on you.
Yeah, but either way, I like my gray haired men. Me
too. Silver Foxes. Hopefully, I end up being one of those.
Apparently, Lloyd is top daddy to me, though. So my apologies. But
I mean, that's kind of top daddy. So then finally, we've got Frieren. Frieren, I finally finished the first season. For me, it is one of the few series, I would call it a 10 out of 10. I've got nothing negative to say, which never makes a 10 out of 10, but they did, for me, everything right. It makes me feel the emotional spectrum. I'm so invested. I've been invested since episode 1. I just think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty close to perfect. I think it's... For me, and I've probably said this before, but it's worth reiterating, I think it is the best first season since the first season of Demon Slayer.
For me, it's even better, but I do agree with you.
Well, I mean, we can debate that, but I think if it keeps going at this pace, it's going to be left at the top with, like, Brotherhood and Bebop and...
Oh, yeah, it absolutely belongs there. Let's actually talk about what this episode's about.
Well, we started talking about this before we got so deep into what we were doing.
So, spoiler warning for Bunny Girl Senpai. We're going to be talking about the series. We're going to be talking about all 3 movies. So, if you don't want spoilers, just go watch it. The title Bunny Girl Senpai is so misleading.
Yes.
There is a little bit of fan service. I thought it was going to be like this super trashy thing. It is this emotional journey that is a character building story, easy to get really invested. There's snarky dialogue. It is a very great series.
More importantly, everyone grows. Every single person grows.
Everybody you meet has growth. We're going into it now. I feel like the series, the first arc, went too hard. The rest of it is good.
It's so hard.
But to date, even including the movies, the first arc is my favorite.
So hard.
It's about a guy falling... Like the whole series is about this thing called puberty syndrome where just weird shit happens. They don't explain it. They can't explain it. There's just weird shit happening.
Something quantum physics.
Yeah, and that's just it. He's got a friend who's like scientisty, and she's always like explaining shit to him. Nobody else knows what is going on with puberty syndrome, but generally Sakuta's involved. A big part of his arc is at one point he met somebody who really changed his life named Shoko. She plays in a lot later, especially in the first movie. He ends up meeting a girl that he's just like, she shows up in the library as a bunny girl, and he's the only one who can see her.
Yep.
Like Playboy outfit, bunny girl.
That whole thing. Yeah.
And so nobody else can see her. She's wearing that. She explains that she's wearing that just
to see if anyone will actually notice her.
To prove it, because she would stand out. But somehow Sakuta does notice, and he talks to her. She said, forget this. The series just kind of follows that and him trying to help her, and the fact that she eventually disappears.
Like fucking Marty McFly from that photograph.
Exactly, except she still exists. Just nobody else can see her.
So it seems like Sakuta's crazy.
And so the peak of this arc is like at the end, Sakuta has like forced himself to remember, even though he forgot. There's so many great character building things. Like he is just staying awake. He's taking caffeine because the trigger is if somebody falls asleep, that is when they eventually forget.
Yeah, bro straight up does everything except meth and cocaine.
Yeah, straight up. And so like eventually Mai slips him some sleeping pills because it's inevitable.
Because she loves him and she doesn't want him to suffer.
And he promised he wouldn't forget, but he did. So it's just like...
Fucking men.
The peak of it is he remembers, it's like the running to the train scene, except he's running outside.
From the school, like during a test, like he's barreling out.
Yeah, and he just like, it's in sprinting. He's like, I remember her. And Futaba, his scientist friend, said that he needs to make people remember, to let people know she still exists. He runs down to the field and just screams how much he loves her, and that reminds people of her existence, and she's there. Walks up to him, And because he forgot, first thing she does, smacks him in the face. Love it.
Yeah.
She says that after his admission, she doesn't want to date yet. she wants to wait a month and see if he still feels the same way. And then that leads into the next arc.
Which is fair because that's a whole lot of crisis romance.
Right? So the next arc is about like a younger girl. There's an issue that she just doesn't want to move on with life. And it just keeps rewinding. Groundhog Days. And that really gets in the way of his relationship. At one point when he Groundhog Days, and I hate that this isn't like technically canon because they reset, somebody's like calling the girl like a slut, and he just like beats the fuck out of him. And then they're on the ground, and he's just like, there's dog shit on my shoe, and just rubs his shoe on the dude's face. There wasn't dog shit, but it's just like, Sakuta is such a chat. He's snarky, he's relatable, and he does so many badass shit.
And low-key, my favorite part about this arc in particular is that him and this Kohai, this younger girl, they're fake dating. They're fake dating. And my favorite part is there's no Three's Company misunderstanding, wacky misunderstandings.
Yeah, mine's just like, fuck it, do it.
Like, you're an idiot, but go ahead and do it. But it only lasts until the end of summer or something like that, the end of the semester.
Yeah,
like that.
just so, God knows. Next arc is Science Girl Futaba. She is split into two of her. One is sending scantily clad photos, and he kind of tries to help her figure it out. Again, He's involved every time. It is a good arc, but we're going to move on to the next one that just, no, gosh. And then there's the younger sister. Okay, so we've got a Freaky Friday for the next one, I think. And that's Mai and her sister, who's a pop star switch because her sister really envies Mai and wants to be her. You get that resolution. And then the final arc is, first of all, his sister, when her puberty syndrome has lasted a while. He also had one. Her puberty syndrome is that she got bullied online and she started getting actual bruises. Yep. His is like when he gets stressed out about stuff like that, he gets like 3 giant claw marks that bleed.
Which is fucking metal as fuck.
Yeah, it is. And he's just pretty whatever about it. When he's overwhelmed by that, that's when he meets Shoko, his first true love that just kind of stopped existing. Like he couldn't find anything about her. Except there is an existence of a younger Shoko. And I'll get into that with the first movie because they tie that in. So his sister eventually dissociates and she makes another personality. And
like we all do.
That one has taken over completely. The core personality doesn't exist anymore. And so his mom freaked out. She went into a mental asylum because she couldn't handle it. And literally, Sakuta, the whole series, has been forced to be an adult, take care of his sister. He lives alone. His dad pays him, to take care of the house, take care of his sister. So he's forced into adulthood. But he loves her.
Honestly, does a pretty bang-up job of it for a teenager.
Yeah, he really does. And so this incarnation sometimes like crawls into bed with him and like it insinuates like siscon stuff. And he's just like every time he's like, fuck no. That's weird. No. And thank you. Thank you, Sakuta.
Thank you for keeping this north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, don't make it weird. Don't go Alabama. Sorry,
we don't need a shot-for-shot remake of Deliverance.
I think that was a little different, but all right.
I haven't seen Deliverance, if you can't tell.
Oh, yeah, Squeal Like a Piggy.
Pulp Fiction?
No, Squeal Like a Piggy is from Deliverance. That's like the line.
I was making a joke.
Fuck you. So this final arc is about like her kind of overcoming her fears. And the thing is it's puberty syndrome. And her overcoming her fears means that she reverts back to normal. And Sean didn't care about this. I wept, because...
We are vastly different people.
When she overcomes those fears, she returns to normal. And so the person that Sakuta has spent years taking care of...
And that we've grown used to.
And that he loves has chosen to die. Like, she no longer exists. She's dead, essentially. And so, like, him trying to deal with that is just so sad. It's so sad that bond has been removed. And then Shoko... At the end of it, Shoko shows up. Mai gets a little jealous, but she's so... How is Mai so understanding? I'll tell you how. She loves Sakuta more than he loves her. And she constantly, like, she doesn't show it often, but, like...
She doesn't doesn't say it often, but she'll fucking show it.
Yeah, later on, yeah, she does. But like earlier on, she just keeps saying it and doesn't. She's not as affectionate. She's not as vocal about it constantly. And he's always talking about how amazed he is by her and stuff. And she's always just playing it coy and cool. But at the end of that's how that ends. And then we are on to the first movie, which was not in the double feature, and that's called Dreaming Girl. And this is where you find out about Shoko. So Shoko is a grade school girl, and in the series, the grade school version has come over. Like, they met her, they helped her get a cat, and like they were watching them. So Mai and Sakuta know Shoko. They kind of thought that she might have something to do with his Shoko, but we don't know. But like Shoko shows up, I had said that, and whenever he's like reaching a point that he's freaking out, Shoko always seems to show up. And she's kind of in love with him. So in this, like the old Shoko, not young Shoko.
Okay.
Young Shoko is in love with him, but it's not a back and it's not mutual.
It's like how sometimes younger children have crush on just like the nearest adult for whatever reason.
Yeah. So we find out that young Shoko has a heart disease and she needs a transplant. Old Shoko is actually future Shoko. And the reason that Sakuta has the scars on his chest is because he gets hit by a car and then he is the heart transplant to save Shoko. So when future Shoko shows up, his heart exists in two places at once. And that makes him bleed.
Fucking quantum mechanics, baby.
Yeah, boy. The whole arc is him deciding, well, half the arc is him accepting his death to let someone else live.
Because he has to finish the story.
And because he's just a really kind person. And like future Shoko is like convincing him to not. She's like, maybe there's other donors. I love you. I want you to go on. So it's kind of like a love triangle where Sakuta is over her. I mean, there's still kind of some feelings, but so she is like staying with them, and Maya is too. So because she's
the most reasonable woman in the world.
Mostly, but like, if there was a previous love interest staying at your boyfriend's house, you would want to be there too.
That's fair.
So she's staying with them, and her Futaba are just like weeping at him and telling him, don't do this. You don't have to do this. Shoko told you not to do this. Of course, he goes to enact it. It turns out Shoko lied to him. So at the last minute, he runs for it. He goes to die, but Mai was waiting. And so Mai dies instead. And I love panicked, desperate Sakuta. I love panicked, desperate like anyone. It's just always so good to see them reach that point that they're just freaking out. And so he's like, I need Mai back. And Shoko's like, I'm future Shoko. I can take you back to the past. He goes back to the past. He ends up saving everybody because future him dies, saving everyone. He goes to Shoko. Young Shoko is like, I'm going to travel back in time. I'm going to make you forget you ever met me. So you can't do anything. So you don't feel this guilt. So you've never had your puberty syndrome. It ends with them seeing Shoko, even though they forgot about her. He had a dream that the Shoko had helped him through things. The older Shoko had helped him through things. They see young Shoko. He remembers. Mai remembers. Happy ending. And she got the heart surgery from someone else.
Two things.
Shoot.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also,
you've had opportunity. I've told you to. This is on you.
Also, more importantly, during talking about that whole thing about Sakuta's heart, you missed a chance for a "My Heart Will Go On" joke.
I did, but
Celine Dion is disappointed in you.
Dolly Parton is disappointed.
I mean, Dolly's disappointed in all of us.
Wait, was that Dolly Parton, the original?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. Dolly Parton's such a class act that Celine Dion, she congratulated Celine Dion on it, and Celine Dion was just pompous about it, and Dolly was just like, whatever about it. Celine Dion was like, this isn't your song, it's mine now. I made it better. And Dolly Parton's like, whatever. Dolly Parton is like real shit.
Google Dolly Parton.
Like, she's great. I don't care for a lot of her music. I don't care for her style, but like the White Stripes, Jack White does a cover of Jolene. It's so beautiful.
I Will Fight You. Coat of Many Colors is a banger album, and I have it on rainbow splatter vinyl.
Hell yeah. So we finally got here.
We finally got to the Two Dudes, One Theater.
The Two Dudes, One Theater. We've got a double feature. I love that it was a double feature. I really enjoyed both movies. I think Dreaming Girl was better than them both. I think Sister Venturing Out, which was the first one, was inferior to Knapsack Kid.
I think so too. I agree with that, although you did miss a big part of it.
Okay, so I had a double chorizo.
In honor of the double feature.
A double chorizo quesadilla, and it caught up with me. I missed two really important parts of both movies.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm trash. Either way, Sister Venturing Out opens with Sister wanting to go to Sakuta's school. It's a really big thing about his sister, about her struggles with her past self.
Yep.
How Sakuta feels about her, all of the goals of her past self, guilt that the past self is gone, all the time she's lost. So she has seen the goals of her past self, which is to go to school, even though that's not what she wants. It's to go to Sakuta's school, and it's about her struggles trying to get in, her struggles with puberty syndrome.
And her struggles just leaving the fucking house.
Yes, which has always been a thing, even knew her because of the bullying and her puberty syndrome.
Which is fair enough.
Absolutely. Since I really liked that previous arc, I really enjoyed it. I did miss the scene where he says, I love both of my sisters.
Such a touching fucking moment.
Yeah, I both times I missed really touching moments, so fuck me, right? So there was also a online class. Sakuta looked into it anyway because he recognized that this is an option and he thought she might like it.
It's always good to have a plan B. Always have a plan B.
Or really, she wanted it to be her plan A.
Yeah.
He saw in the video that I'm pretty sure this whole movie is just an ad for cyber school.
Yeah. There's probably some really specific one in Japan that they paid for like this as an ad.
Oh, yeah. So he sees one of the pop star group, not my sister, but one of her group. And so they talk to her about it, and it
turns into an infomercial, but, like the pop star girl really enjoys going to this fucking online school or attending this online school. So like it actually becomes a viable option.
Yeah. And so by the end of it, we do get that full character arc of Sakuta's sister, and she ends up choosing her current self, and she chooses to make her own decisions regardless of what the past self had done, because she had done her thing, She had reached her point that she needed to, and it was time for core...
Yeah, it was time to let go.
Core sister to do what she needs to do.
Yeah, she had to let go of the past to move forward, even if she wasn't around for that past, which is good because she damn near died from it during a goddamn test.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when she goes to a test, she loses her shit and gets all bruised up and has to stop. It was a great movie. It was a great continuation of the series. I'm sure the light novel was good, obviously. After Dreaming Girl, it just didn't hit me as hard as much as I love the sister, but at its core, I'm here for Mai and Sakuta.
Although, shout out to the soundtrack. The soundtrack, I think you missed this part, too, when Sakuta's running to the school to find out or did you miss the part where he's running? Oh, yeah. Sakuta runs to the school after fucking Kaede collapses in the test. He gets that phone call and he's just running to school and he's in the school and it's just this really ominous bass heavy music.
Oh yeah,
playing.
it's really good. The soundtrack and the whole thing was great.
But I really felt the intensity of that moment. That was nice.
I love it when the soundtrack hits right. Again, as a whole, I really did enjoy the movie.
Worth watching.
Yeah, and I really liked that Kaede got a chance and Sakuta got a chance to let her know how much he loves her and still acknowledge that he loved also her.
Because he is the fucking best brother.
He is the best brother, and he's also dad.
This is in Alabama, though, so he's not actually both.
Yeah, right? And he had to, again, it's such a core part of his personality that he was willing to step up. He was able to step up, and that just adulthood was thrust on him so early, and that he handled it so well, kind of, which is the next movie.
Yeah.
This was the better. Okay, so for me, the ranking is Dreaming Girl, Knapsack Kid, Sister Venturing Out, and obviously peak is the first arc, first book, first arc, first whatever. So, this one is about his struggles with his mom. He feels his mom abandoned them because of
the mental issues.
And it's his mom's fault. He blames her because she was in the asylum instead of his dad. Who was not and just pawned him off.
Which I am here to say, as someone who has dealt with mental issues, it is good to not invalidate people's mental issues.
Yes, but he just feels abandoned. He feels like she thrust this on him, and he has not really seen her since all of this happened.
Yeah, I don't think he's gone to visit her at all.
No, he hasn't. So Kaede, on the other hand, so the mom is starting to feel better. She's starting to recover. Even once Kaede came back, the mom was still struggling.
Yep.
And she's finally to the point that she's ready to see Kaede, if Kaede is willing. And she is. But Sakuta isn't. And I think it's more apathy than anything else.
Yeah, because at some point, after you live so long without a parent, you just forget they exist. Ask me how I know.
Sean knows. So Sakuta has a new scar. He doesn't know what's going on with it, and he kind of gets Mai'd. And
Yes.
in the beginning of it, he does see like a young Mai with a knapsack. He had a dream about it in like previous. It might have been in.
I think it was in the previous one.
He had seen her. He doesn't know what's up with it, and now he is becoming invisible. He is invisible to a lot of people or everyone.
Yeah,
he's completely invisible.
Yeah, because he goes back over to his parents' place, or because no, they go back over to his mom's where his mom is, and no one recognizes him.
Yeah, and he...
Or don't see him at all, not even just don't recognize him.
Yeah, no one sees him. So he's like at the point that he's just trying to hunt down someone who can. He ends up not being found, and he goes to the beach and finds Knapsack Kid, young Mai. Yep. And she transports him to a different part of the multiverse.
At some point, you just need, to plot shit out to understand what's going on anymore.
Yeah, definitely. It gets weird. So he's in the other end of the multiverse, and this is one where... when Kaede started getting bullied, Sakuta shut that shit down.
Yep.
And this is the perfect multiverse.
This is the ideal world.
He's still with Mai. Everything's great. His sister never had it. His whole family's together. And in this world, they still can't see him, right?
No, they see him.
Wow, sorry. It's been like 2 weeks since we saw it. And I'm kind of brain dead. And I also had to poop a couple times in it. And that's my defense. What's yours?
No, because I'm dumb. No, they still see him. It's just, he wants to stay in that world because it's like the ideal world.
Yeah, and
it's everything he thinks he wants.
And that's the struggle. And so he talks to Mai about it.
Yeah.
And kind of they sort of figure things out, and he decides that he needs to go back because real shit. That's what Sakuta is. He's real shit. That's like my new phrase of the week.
Tune in next time for a different phrase.
Yeah, no, I go through phases like consistently for like it'll be a month and then you'll never hear me say it again. Sakuta decides to go back when he gets back. So since he was there was a Sakuta. The other Sakuta's conscious switched places.
They swapped universes.
That Sakuta wrote a note to Mai talking about how he loves her, and when current Sakuta gets back, he's like, dude, fuck this noise. Nobody gets to talk to her like that. Crumples it up, throws away, writes the same exact note. Like,
in just as shitty handwriting.
Yeah, well, it's great. It is to a T, the same exact note. And that's just so on point for Sakuta, petty little
bitch.
It's just like everything about it was on point for him. And he is trying to find his way, and he ends up going to the school where it first happened. And Mai can still see him. And that, for me, is like the peak of this movie, is like he's there and Mai sees him.
But you forgot to talk about why she can see him.
Oh, yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, she gets a marriage certificate.
To motivate Sakuta to study harder so they can go to fucking university.
Yeah, someone just gave it to him. And so he's like, all right, well, I'm going to sign this. And once I get into university with you, you can sign it. Or we can enact it.
Yeah, no, actually, he has Mai sign it.
Okay, yeah.
He has Mai sign it and then makes her keep it as a good... Because he doesn't need the good luck charm. He feels like she should be the one to hold on to a marriage certificate, which is brilliant forethought, not because of the whole thing that happens later in the movie, because his dumbass would find a way to use it. Because he's a weak
He doesn't trust himself.
He is a weak man.
Because she had that, that's why she remembered him. She showed up. They have a great re-meeting. The movie ends with him finally realizing what's going on with his mom. Mm-hmm. And he goes there. He still can't be seen, but he's just talking to her and validating her. And this is just real for most people. It's recognizing, that parents are just as human as everyone else.
And we all want to be seen.
Yeah. And so he's talking to her and acknowledging her and acknowledging that she's had a hard time. And talking about how hard it's been for him to grow up. Then she can suddenly see him. She starts talking to him. Kaede shows up. It's this really heartfelt reunion. And then it's over. And it was great. And then they tease the university arc, which apparently is banging.
It said, and it said specifically series, so I'm hoping for a series. But
yeah, I would love it if they
But
did
at this point,
season.
I'll take any content, whatever.
And for anyone who's curious, the light novels are going to be ending this October. So I love it when a series ends. I do. But,
you just like to be able to be finished with something.
I do, I understand the appeal of One Piece. I understand why people love it, but I like an end. I like an end that isn't drawn out. I like post-anime depression.
I do like an end that isn't drawn out looking at you, JJK. But I feel like And this would have ruined the vibe of the movie completely. But I would have loved it if his mom could see him and no one else could, because then it's just the mentally ill woman seeing a son she doesn't have.
She says that she's ready to start meeting people, and then all of a sudden she's seeing someone random, and she's just like, she's got to backpedal immediately. That'd be great.
That'd be a great different universe.
So yeah, all in all, awesome series, like a 9 out of 10. Sakuta is one of my favorite main characters, like him and Subaru. They are like contenders for like one of my favorite main characters. Gosh, so is the priest in Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. So is Freerun. So is Fern. So is everyone from. Okay, so I struggled deciding.
It's that sweet, sweet ADHD.
Everything was great. I definitely recommend seeing the movies. Dream Girl, you have to buy the Blu-ray because licensing reasons. It doesn't stream anywhere. You can't buy it online anywhere.
Although, to be fair, the way streaming is going, buy your shit on physical media anyways if you really enjoy it, because that shit isn't permanent.
Yeah, or it might get taken away. Looking at you, Crunchyroll. Or Funimation, but it's not Funimation's fault. Crunchyroll bought it, and they're not transferring.
I'm looking at you, Disney, probably.
Yeah, fuck you, Disney. We're going to blame you ahead of time. Really, though, the whole series is great. I recommend picking it up. Bunny Girl Senpai is misleading when they say it. I just love it. I think it's just really great from start to finish. It's witty. All the characters grow. It's easy to be invested.
Socket is super relatable.
Socket is super relatable. Futaba's voice in the dub is just dreamy. Like, geez, mommy. That's my one thing to say about the dub. But yeah, no, I love the experience. I'm so glad that I got to see it in theaters. It's my first anime in theaters, and I hope to do it more.
Man,
Haikyuu, I'm looking at you. Come to me. Come to me, Haikyuu.
Before that, we can still do it more, because Spy Family's coming to theaters.
Oh, is it really? In the US?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, man, I can't wait then.
Looking at you, Lloyd.
Kraft or Lloyd?
Yes. Eiffel Tower, me.
So for our next episode, or maybe I'm doing this previous, I don't know. We're going to record it. We'll see when I release it. We're going to just kind of talk about upcoming, what's to come in 2024.
Yeah, the back half of the year.
And even like what's come out so far. 2024 is going to be an amazing year.
Absolutely banger.
Oh, yeah, just certified bangers. Left, right. We're getting so many things I'm excited for. So many manga that I've been reading that are coming to an anime near you.
Coming to a screen near you.
And I'm so hype for all of this. Quick sidebar for animes. I didn't love the Nagatoro anime. I think it's the soundtrack. The soundtrack's too zany. And there's a handful of things about it I'm just struggling to invest in.
That's fair. Like, I understand that. Like, I haven't watched the second season because I don't really... I like the first enough, but like I didn't need to watch the second.
Yeah, I dig that. So yeah, if we don't do that next time, or if I do it before this, future telling.
Hey, we just did an episode about Bunny Girl Senpai. Time isn't real.
Exactly. So thanks for coming today. We are going to do our shame rating for this whole series, and there's very little fan service. I mean, there's the Bunny Girl stuff.
Yeah, but even that's mild by a lot of standards.
It really is. One big issue is in the manga they've kissed, and in the series they haven't. So maybe out of spite, maybe just to fuck with us, or maybe they just can't animate kissing good. I don't know, but I'm mad about it. But we're going to do our shame rating on a scale of siscon shit to Sakuta as a sibling. And I'm going to give it an 8. Like, Sakuta being a sibling is good. Siscon, we're not for that here.
No, absolutely not. We are north of the Mason-Dixon line.
So we're going to go with, I think it's an 8 out of 10. It's easy to introduce people to if you just tell them the bunny girl thing isn't a common theme.
Yeah, I also agree. I think 8's appropriate because it's got like a low threshold of anime bullshit.
It does. So just being like, if you're not into fan service, get past the bunny girl and you are golden. This is an awesome series with a lot of wit, and it's very great.
A lot of wit, a lot of heart.
So much heart. I can't believe I didn't say it. So much heart.
It's not like a perfect 10 for me, just primarily because you do need like one of those fucking maps with like dots connected and strings and all that nonsense.
For me, if it was just the first arc, it'd probably be a 9.5 or a 10. Everything else it just doesn't quite hit as well, and it just doesn't move me as much, but it is a great series. And I really don't have many 10 out of 10. So, a 9 or a 9.5 or even an 8 out of 10 for like how much I enjoyed it. That's all real good.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming today. And until next time, Let's keep it low key, Weebs.